Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and for another VEDA2 video we are going to be looking at my July wrap up. And I'm pretty sure I say this every month when I do a TBR video or when I do a wrap up, I cannot believe it's even August. This is actually ridiculous. So in the month of July I read 6 books, and we're just gonna talk through them. I will be putting up pictures because I own 2 definitely physically, but I can't get to them at the minute, so we're just gonna put some pictures up because that's how it is. So the first book that I managed to finish in the month of July was The Ruin of Kings for the It's All About Fantasy book club. I gave this 5 stars. I loved this book. This book was so good and such a good starting point, I think, for the series. We are following our main character Kieran, who at the very start of this book he is being told that he must tell his story to his captor, who is called Talon, and he picks a point of which to start the story, and like a chapter later Talon goes, no, this isn't where the story starts, it actually starts here. And then they're telling 2 different stories in 2 different timelines, and obviously towards the end it does all coalesce and come together, which is fantastic, and it's so amazingly done. We learn so much about the world, we learn so much backstory, I think we learn so much context about Kieran as well from these 2 different timelines. It's so well done, and I really liked how we saw like our first meeting with Talon, his current captor, and all the other people that sprinkle in to his life. So I thought that was a very, very cool book, and it was done so well that I like I said, I gave it 5 stars. There is a whole live show over on Lisa's channel, which you can find through our Twitter, which is always linked down below, so make sure you check that out. But such a good starting point for the month of July. From there we kind of went into the final books of SPSFC, which I was a judge for last year, and I read Ducat and Dyer Dicks for Hire. I gave this 3 stars. It was alright. It was quite humorous. You start off in like the future and then you come back to present day, and Michael Ducat literally just wants to go on a date with a girl that he's met. That is literally it. And unfortunately the story and everyone else has other plans, and that isn't exactly what happens. They get roped into this like sci-fi whodunit kind of mystery, and it is really well done, to be fair. It just wasn't everything I wanted it to be, hence the 3 stars. It is a good book, I would recommend it, especially the humour elements. They are quite funny. The friendship between Michael and Stephanie, his friend, who is the Dyer part of him. Is it Michael Dyer and Stephanie Ducat? Or the other way around, I can't remember. But either way, she is his partner in crime, and yeah, it's just one of them. It was good. Their relationship is very problematic, if I'm honest. It's a good book, but wasn't everything I wanted. And then I went to Stones of Light. Now this was everything I wanted. That was 5 stars. The first and the second books have been 5 stars. As I'm filming this right now, I have got my physical arc waiting for me to read, and I cannot wait to finish this series. I'm sure it's going to be 5 stars as well. This I can't really tell you a lot about because obviously it's the sequel to Voice of War, but we are still following pretty much the same characters. We're just going more in depth, and I think we have a few more in-depth perspectives in this one than we did in the first book. Highly recommend it. Definitely check out Voice of War and this series. It is so good. I recommend this series all the time. It's like my top recommended series this year, and it really deserves it. Then unfortunately I read Captain Wu, which was another SPSFC book, and unfortunately I gave it 2 stars. I didn't feel like the story went anywhere. I was very disappointed. The first chapter I read for a tri-chapter challenge, and I thought it was going to be so good. It was very humorous, light-hearted, it was good. We start off with Captain Wu trying to do a standard drop-off, and it all goes wrong and people get shot, and they basically end up with this package that isn't collected, and that's what they were meant to drop off. And it's not until like way further in the story that they actually open it and figure out what it is, and even then you don't really get to figure out what this thing is. There's no conclusion. This could be because it's a series, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I did not enjoy it. Unfortunately, I was very disappointed, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I was then very kindly sent an art copy of the Book of Gothel by Mary McMine, and I read this and I gave this 3 stars. Again, I did enjoy it, it was a good book, but it wasn't everything that I wanted. This book is basically a retelling of how Mother Gothel came to be, and it is really interesting. It is historical fantasy, and the fantasy is like very light on the fantasy, but it is very historical. If you like that sort of thing, you'll love this book, I'm sure. It's really good, but it wasn't as dark as I wanted. I wanted a villain origin story, and I didn't get that, and this version of Mother Gothel is just saying, like, it's kind of a retribution arc. It's saying that actually she wasn't all that bad, but I kind of wanted her to be all that bad and be that kind of person, and I just didn't get it, which is really, really a shame for me. But otherwise, I think if you wanted to give this book a go, you'd probably love it if you go in expecting more of like a retribution historical kind of thing than what I expected, which was down with everyone, let's kill everyone, which wasn't what I got, but that's fine. And then the final book that I managed to finish this month was The Name of All Things, again by Jen Lyons, which is for the It's All About Fancy book club. I gave this 4 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the first book. Now this is because we are following completely different characters. We have some old characters pop up here and there, but it wasn't everything. I don't know, I just wasn't as invested in this part of the story. However, I have heard that the first 2 books in this series are more like prequels, and then the 3rd book, which is The Memory of Souls, is where it all kicks off, and that is what I am hoping for, because I'm very, very excited, and I'm hoping that this is where everything kind of comes together and we get more action and we get more context and world building, and we see more of the characters that I fell in love with in the first book. And I think that's the other reason it was a 4-star, not a 5, is that there are characters in the first book that I absolutely adored and I really loved, and I just didn't get that with this one. But it is what it is, and I'm excited to talk about this with the girls in our live show, which will have already gone live by the time you're seeing this, and it will be saved on my channel, so make sure you go and check that out if you've read the book, or if you're like keeping up with us but you didn't manage to catch it. Go back and watch it, it's going to be a good time, and I'm already very excited for it. So there you go, that is a really super quick roundup of the books that I read in the month of July. I'm very proud of myself. 6 books is pretty average now for me. I am reading more audiobooks, but yeah, I think I could have read more, but I was obviously quite sick in the middle of the month, and that really put a damper on a lot of my reading plans, which is a shame, but I think otherwise I did all right. I'm quite proud of myself. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, it really supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below of your favourite book that you read in the month of July. If you just want to leave me an emoji, leave me... what should you leave me? Leave me a dragon emoji for the Jen Lyons series, because I've read 2 books this month apparently. Well, I finished 2 books this month. And if you want to see more of me, obviously we are doing VEDA2, so I'm uploading every single day this month, but if you want to see more of me, please consider subscribing down below and ring that notification bell to get notified every single time I upload new videos. I am uploading, like I said, every single day. When we come back in September, it will be every Wednesday and Sunday, yet again, if you want to stick around for more bookish content from me. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying the content so far. I think we're on day 3 of VEDA and VEDA2, and I hope to see you again tomorrow, so come back for more, and there's loads more in the works, so I shall see you tomorrow hopefully. Bye.